Doesn't mean that Hillary would have been a good choice either. She was a terrible choice. She's a corrupt politician, one of the most unlikable people that's ever run for office. They were trying to get people to be supporting her just because she's a woman. This is going to be her history. Women, ladies, I stand with her. So there's all these women that have this blind allegiance towards this career politician, completely full of shit. She's been full of shit forever.
Hillary says Democrats' trap is pushing woke crap. So the Dems have become so dense that even she's making sense. In a new interview, Hillary Clinton, the first lady of second place, was that terrible.
When Hillary Clinton's name crept back into the headlines, Joe Rogan and Greg Gutfeld didn't blink. They brought a flamethrower which sharper than a Senate hearing and sarcasm hotter than her deleted emails. They tore through every stage moment and failed comeback like it was open mic night for political disasters. From foundation fiascos to wardrobe diplomacy, nothing was safe. This wasn't just a roast. It was a no-holds-barred dismantling of the Clinton legacy, and it's hilariously ruthless from start to finish.
I was infuriated when people that I knew that I was friends with were trying to tell me that Hillary Clinton was a good choice. And that's the same choice. I'm like, look, I don't know if she's murdered people, but I know that I worry that she's murdered people. That's a real, I really wonder. Like this Seth Rich
I know. First of all, just leave. You don't even need to go there. You know,
there's so many other things.
There's so many other things that we know for a fact.
The Clinton Foundation, for instance.
You look at Hillary. She uses the phrase, what was it? I wrote it down here. Handmaiden to the patriarchy, which I think she means she's bashing Monica Lewinsky. I'm not sure. But this only is appealing to an ever-shrinking circle of feminist women, the same who bow to the altar of trans men and keep silent when real women are victimized by really bad men. But again, it's another assigned opinion that's lazily presented, men against women.
Every time Hillary Clinton disappears in the spotlight, she comes back like a political ghost, haunting a nation that's already emotionally bankrupt. The woman has rebranded herself more times than a struggling fast food joint, trying to convince people that their new fries actually taste different. Joe Rogan and Greg Gutfeld didn't even need to prep for this roast. They just looked at the timeline of Hillary's accomplishments and nearly choked on the hypocrisy buffet.
Will her new foreign policy class change minds that she's a horse's ass? This week, Columbia University shared a video promoting a new course that's co-taught by Hillary Clinton. Believe me, no one's more thrilled to have Hillary out of the house than Bill. Speaking of Bill, if you're a lady who is a solid 8 or above, he'll tutor you for free.
If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. It all starts with her world record-setting ability to dodge accountability. If slipperiness were an Olympic sport, she'd have more gold than Michael Phelps. From Benghazi to the server saga, Hillary doesn't take responsibility. She holds it hostage in a dark basement with a copy of what happened duct taped to its face. While the rest of the country was figuring out how to open a PDF, Hillary was out there smashing Blackberries like she was auditioning for a reboot of Office Space.
I don't think the Clintons were involved with P. Diddy, do you?
No, but Epstein.
Was Epstein involved with P. Diddy?
No, I just feel like these pedophile rings have to cross points at some point.
Like, I was infuriated when people that I knew that I was friends with were trying to tell me that Hillary Clinton was a good choice. And that's the same choice. I'm like, look, I don't know if she's murdered people, but I know that I worry that she's murdered people. That's a real, I really wonder. Like, this Seth Rich.
I know. First of all, just leave. You don't even need to go there. You know,
there's so many other things.
There's so many other things that we know for a fact.
The Clinton Foundation, for instance.
And who could forget the infamous private email server? That wasn't just a misstep. It was a full-on Broadway production of poor judgment. Most people use Gmail. Hillary used a homemade server, like she was crafting artisanal cover-ups in a Brooklyn basement. Joe Rogan didn't even need to exaggerate. He just pointed out that she was basically handling state secrets like a teenager hiding text messages from their parents.
First, she wasn't elected. Now Hillary's class gets rejected. True, even students on the left give Professor Clinton an F. Students in Hillary Clinton's new class says it sucks. Even more than an intern who You know where this is going. But it's the smartest realization on campus since someone realized you could put vodka up your butt. Thanks, Shannon.
Greg Gutfeld jumped in like a snarky wrecking ball, wondering out loud how someone could operate at the highest levels of government and still act like a rookie trying to delete their browser history before mom comes home. The audacity of wiping 30,000 emails and then shrugging it off like she just accidentally cleared her Netflix queue. That level of shamelessness deserves a museum wing of its own.
They seem to be going out of their way to lose elections by focusing on causes that only affect a small fraction of voters. Funny, asking Hillary how to win elections is like asking France how to win wars. But she seemed to admit the interview was right chasing woke issues, noting, quote, "Look, the most important thing is to win the next election. The alternative is so frightening that whatever does not help you win should not be."
But Hillary's greatest magic trick wasn't making emails disappear. It was making integrity vanish from politics entirely. Her campaign trail was paved with photo ops, fake smiles, and a deep, almost pathological need to be liked by people who couldn't stand her. Greg swears that Hillary didn't even run for president. She just wandered around in a pantsuit doing stiff robot waves until someone told her the polls were closing. And speaking of that pantsuit empire, has there ever been a candidate who, dressed like they were perpetually on their way to negotiate a truce between two alien civilizations? Joe Rogan once joked that Hillary's wardrobe had more layers than her foreign policy disasters. This is the woman who stood by while her husband turned the White House into a frat house with federal funding. Instead of walking away from the scandal, she leaned into it like a desperate contestant on a political reality show called America's Next Top Enabler.
Watch the conversation between James Comey.
110 emails in 52 email chains have been determined by the owning agency to contain classified information.
When James Comey testified about what he did and what they found with the Hillary Clinton emails, and then her version of it.
I did not email any classified material to anyone. There is no classified material.
She's just a straight liar. She deleted 33,000 emails.
I provided all my emails that could possibly be work-related.
Several thousand work-related emails that were not among the group of 30,000 emails returned by Secretary Clinton.
When they rigged the DNC, they rigged the primaries so that Bernie...
Greg Gutfeld practically burst into sarcastic applause when he said Hillary's feminism only kicked in when it was politically convenient. And the rest of the time, it was locked in a vault next to those deleted emails. And then came 2016, the year Hillary Clinton lost to a real estate tycoon with a Twitter addiction. Losing that election wasn't just a misstep. It was a cosmic joke told at her expense. Joe Rogan compared it to training your whole life for a marathon and getting outpaced by a guy wearing flip-flops and yelling into a megaphone. Hillary had the DNC, the media, Hollywood, and Wall Street behind her, and still managed to get blindsided by the electoral equivalent of a clown car. Her entire campaign was a TED Talk disguised as a funeral speech. She walked into rallies like she was allergic to enthusiasm, high-fiving ghosts and delivering slogans that sounded like rejected insurance ads. But let's get to the real meat, the Clinton Foundation.
All right, she lost an election, and now she's projecting. Hillary Clinton went on The View this week, which immediately raises a serious question. What's the weight capacity for that stage? But you'll never guess what she talked about. Her love of gardening, the things she does to stay healthy, how much she adores catching and cooking stray kittens.
Joe Rogan asked the obvious question. How do you run a charity and somehow come out richer than when you started? The foundation was supposedly for global good, but the only thing globally affected was a number of private jets landing in countries that coincidentally needed political favors. Greg joked that if you donated to the Clinton Foundation, your money was probably used to buy another fog machine for the illusion of benevolence. And what about her media presence? Hillary's attempt at relatability was a never-ending circus. The hot sauce in my bag moment will go down in history as the most desperate attempt at cultural connection since your uncle tried a dab at Thanksgiving dinner. Greg roasted her monotone delivery as the only known cure for insomnia that doesn't require prescription. She could talk about nuclear war and make it sound like a T-Dex talk on Excel shortcuts. Every time she tried to get emotional, it felt like a malfunctioning GPS trying to reroute to the valley of fake empathy.
Clintons are the people that are like maybe disrespectful to the servers and you find out about it, they sent food back.
The Democrat wall of support for Hillary Clinton's use of a private, unsecure server for official government emails and attachments. Yeah, I remember all of that.
It's not the main guy, it's the support staff.
Her party rallied to her defense. And to this day, it maintains she did nothing wrong.
Let's not ignore her foreign policy resume. Joe pointed out that her arson button with Russia was so ineffective, it might as well have been labeled snooze. Every diplomatic effort she led felt like a poorly written sequel to a failed franchise. Lots of build-up, no payoff, and explosions in all the wrong places. Greg added that if chaos were a currency, Hillary would be the Federal Reserve. And then there's a relationship with the media, an alliance so tangled it makes Game of Thrones look like a kindergarten play. She got softball interviews where the toughest question was probably, what's your favorite flavor of privilege? And yet she still managed to come off as disingenuous. She went on a nationwide blame tour that made Taylor Swift's X-List look like a pocket note. Greg Gutfeld swears that Hillary blamed everyone except her own reflection. The voters were stupid. The media was sexist. The Electoral College was unfair. The only thing she didn't blame was Mercury being in retrograde.
Well, Hillary did the same thing.
Well, she's a congenital liar, as she was referred to by the New York Times back in the day.
And rightly so, but people forget this. She did talk about a firefight that she was involved in.
I was under sniper fire, and the worst thing about that people didn't give a shit about, she said when she was in Bosnia, she was under sniper fire. It's like, wait a minute, you're throwing the Secret Service under the bus. Because what kind of Secret Service is going to let the First Lady?
And when she wasn't crying about the election, she was trying to reinvent herself. A podcast, a Netflix deal, a book, then another book, then a miniseries. Joe Rogan said she was trying to get more screen time than the Kardashians without realizing the audience was already asleep. Greg added that if political redemption came in the form of recycled memoirs, Hillary would be a saint by now. But don't think for 1 second she's done. Like a bad sequel that nobody asked for, Hillary's name keeps popping up whenever someone asks. And let's not forget her obsession with identity politics. Hillary doesn't build bridges. She plays hopscotch on fault lines. Her strategy isn't unifying voters. It's slicing them into tiny boxes of race, gender, class, and pretending to be the voice for each one. Joe said she's like a diversity bingo card brought to life.
Miserable.
She's publicly humiliated, and she thought that her big retribution would become president.
I'm running for president, and I'm in it to win it.
You know, become president.
Sure.
And then that would be it. All water under the bridge. I'm a strong woman. I'm running this country. And then America was like, nah.
And I'm sorry that we did not win this election for the values we share.
Greg just called her the political version of spam mail. You didn't ask for it, but it keeps showing up anyway. Even her attempts at humor feel like a glitch in the Matrix. Every joke lands with the grace of a falling safe. Hillary trying to be funny is like a robot trying stand-up. It's equal parts terrifying and awkward. Joe said if she did comedy, the punchline would be an FBI investigation. Greg said her timing was so bad it could be used to measure geological errors. And somehow, despite everything, she still carries herself like she's owed something, like the presidency was on layaway, and America just forgot to make the final payment. Joe Rogan called it the most entitled vibe since Napoleon tried to conquer Russia in winter. Joe Rogan said watching Hillary campaign was like watching someone play Monopoly by flipping the board and demanding to win. Greg said she treated the White House like it was a final prize in a game show called America's Most Exhausting Politician. And even now she's out there giving speeches about democracy and integrity, like she's the moral compass we never asked for. It's like being lectured on sobriety by a guy doing shots in the parking lot. Joe said she's got more nerve than a dental school. Greg said she could sell ice Eskimos, but only if she also charged a processing fee and then blamed Russia when it melted. And just when you think it's over, she releases another statement, another tweet, another documentary that nobody asked for. She's like a political Wi-Fi signal, always popping up in places where it's completely unnecessary and rarely working when you need it. Joe Rogan swears she's powered by resentment and decaf coffee.
Hillary Clinton in like 2008 saying some wild type
If they've committed them, no questions asked, they're gone.
She's a Republican.
If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes. And you have to try to learn English.
more than Trump.
And then
it's
you couldn't believe
Greg thinks she has a bat signal that lights up every time someone forgets she lost. So, as Hillary Clinton continues to orbit the political galaxy like a malfunctioning satellite, it's safe to say the roast isn't done cooking. This isn't just a roast. It's a full-blown buffet of irony served with a side of cold ambition and reheated delusion. And the grill's still on. Every time she resurfaces, it's like political deja vu wrapped in recycled ambition. Hillary doesn't evolve. She loops like a glitching NPC in a rigged simulation. She's not running for office. She's speedrunning denial. Joe Rogan pointed out that if Hillary were a software update, it would be the same broken version with shinier icons and even more bugs. And just when the smoke clears and the silence settles, you hear it again. Another Clinton cough echoing through cable news, signaling she's about to reboot once more. Stay tuned.